Good morning and welcome back to Planner Craft. I'm Natalie and I'm going to be taking you through doing some direct cutting for apertures. So first of all, hi Wendy, hi Yvonne, hi Jane and hi Deb. And if you're loitering in the background, don't be afraid to say hi, we're all friendly here. Hi Carol. So without too much ado, I have some Aperture design stamps that I'm going to be playing with. So these are all from Just Right and they match the Spellbinders labels if you have those dies. But I thought it would be good to show them being used with the ScanNCut today. I have some smooth white card and I have my stamp platform ready. So the stamps that I'm using are cling mounted. So the stamps I'm using today are cling mounted rubber. So I've got my stamp platform set up ready for rubber stamps.
We have Linda and Corinne.
Corinne.
Say good morning.
So good morning Corinne and hello Linda. So I'm going to go first of all with this oval frame here. Start off easy. Now I'm going to move it so that it's going to be towards the centre. Oh, my mat's still a bit damp. Might take that out. Don't need it for this morning, so I can take it out and.
Bit damp.
Yeah, because I gave it a little clean. It's looking a bit mucky, so that can go over there and dry for a bit. So if ever you have an old cutting mat that you're wondering what to do with, you can chop it down and use it in your stamp platform and it helps you stamp onto die cuts.
Your mum's ringing now for today then.
Hi Mum! There we go, so I'm just applying my magnets. And they're nice stamps, aren't they, Mum? And to start with, I'm going to go with a nice hybrid black ink. So this gives you a nice strong black, hopefully.
So which one it is?
So this is Jane Davenport's Squid Ink in black. So you can get a few different colours, as well as gold, silver and white. So I tend to use the black and white the most. So I'm going to stamp it once, and just because it missed a few areas I'm going to do it again. So one of the tricks when you are stamping for your ScanNCut is to make sure that you have a nice solid outline as much as possible. As if you do have any gaps, it will try and go around the inside of them.
I'm sure you can guess, Carol.
Okay, let's just get that in there. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to pop off my magnets. I'm going to turn it round. And this time let's stamp it in something different. So I'm going to go for, let's go for the grey. Oh, no, I'm not going to go for the grey. Oh dear, I think my pad's had it.
That needs a bit more tape on the back.
Bit more tape. And it's still wet enough, so What can I do? Let's get some glue on that for a bit and just let it sit for a minute. Can you pass me the and take the pin out for me? Tar. I'll come back to that pad in a minute when it's set. Running repairs. I looked at that when you brought it in and I thought, I haven't used that for a while, I wonder why.
There we go.
Now, Mummy has a big stash that she's de-stashing, aren't you, Mum? So, while that's setting in there, I'm just going to switch to an alcohol-proof pad. So this is by Spectrum Noir.
I've seen Tracy here this morning.
No, I haven't seen Tracy on. Usually I see like some posts that she's commented on overnight. But no. So I'm going to colour that top one. Let's grab another sheet of card and I'll try and do all my stamping at once, so bring the stamp platform backwards and forwards. Let's go for a different one this time.
Can't see my messages.
I can't see my messages now. That's the thing. Especially now that we go live to YouTube as well. We have to watch it through the different software so that we can see comments from all of them. Okay. So this time I'm going to go for this big one. Oh. That way. That way I can get two in. So this time I'm going to go for a colour. So let's go for copper.
No, I've not seen Sarah do a monarchy yet this morning either.
Sarah Lou liked the post I put out about it being at 10. But
Yes. There's a few that also like to watch Barbara, aren't there? So they might be over on Barbara this morning.
yeah, it wasn't ideal going at 10 today, but some things are just a pain that we can't avoid, aren't they? Okay. So again, I'm going to do a few layers, and this is where the stamp platform really does come into its own. So if you are looking to use your ScanNCut for cutting out your stamped images, stamp platform is definitely something you should be investing in. maybe a little bit more, just there. I'm just worried that it's going to be a bit too pale, so then it's always fun when you're trying to re-ink things, and that bit there.
And a bit as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that bit.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. Should be there. Oh,
Just get your roller out.
yeah, I should get my roll right. You're quite right. Okay.
If anyone does have any questions, please don't be afraid to ask.
And this one I'm going to go a bit darker. I'm going to do some ink blending over the top. So let's go. I'm going to go brown. Okay. Now before I go too far, I'm just going to show you one of the other stamps I've got, and that's this one. Now the reason I probably won't do this one on stream is because it's got lots of little dotted lines, and that means that if we were to just stamp that and not colour it in, our ScanNCut's going to see each of these as an individual shape and try and go around each one of them. So instead, what you need to do is you need to actually colour around all these lines here. So rather than do that on stream, because that takes forever, I will pop up a sample with that done. There's a little how-to. Okay, so pop that down there for a minute. Actually, take that out for a second. Okay, move that way. So, as that's been drying, I can come in and I can do some colouring. Let's go for I'm going to go for mustardy sort of yellow, a brown, and sort of a cream.
Like a selection of him.
Yeah, I'm going to do this one because this was the one with that alcohol proof marker. So let's go the light first.
So what are these pens? What colours are they?
Okay, so this one is a Marva Uchi de la Plume alcohol, and it's orange yellow 841. Then I'm going to go to, that might be a bit darker than what I'm expecting actually. Let's just give that a quick test. Oh no, So this one's described as being walnut, which I would expect to be much darker than that, but it's pretty much true to the cat.
And
It's a Spectrum Noir alcohol pen again. So I'm going to come in there. What I'm going to do is colours everywhere except where our highlight is, and then our darker colour can go over the top. So for our darkest colour I have E855 in Marley Cheetah. So you want to make sure that that's a good shade or two darker than your mid-tone. The good thing about doing metallics is you don't have to do this perfectly smooth blending.
Sandra's just joined us, said stamps take it back to when she first started crafting. Loves labels, etc. collection. And Mum said you could use that stamp as a steampunk eye.
You could, couldn't you? That'd be funky. I'm going to come back in my lighter colour. I'm just going to go around this inner frame here.
The difference in the tips.
Hmm?
The difference in the tips between the Spectrum lines and the...
Yeah, because those ones are brush tips, and then you have chisel that end and a bullet tip that end. And they each have their place. I'm just going around this little thin outline here. I'm just going to put some dark colour in here, so it's going to make that bit recede back a bit. Put some light colour over this piece here. I'm tracing the outside line as the end of my object, but then everything else to the inside is solid. Just back to my darkest colour and do these two little sections at top and bottom that I missed. So we can go to our mid tone, get the right end. There we go. Now I'm going to pop a bit of colour in here. That's going to make this background recede and our detail come forward. No room because my desk is full. I need to sort my desk out first. Didn't quite get that far. So you get the idea. And we'll finish it off just because it's going to be more awkward to colour it after it's cut out than it will be before. I'll just concentrate on the big sections. Those two ready to scan. And I said I would do some ink blending on our chocolate one. And can you pass me some walnut stain and some antique linen?
Walnut stain.
Thank you.
Antique linen, sweetie, let me up.
It's the creamy one, sweetie.
Sorry?
Creamy colour one you're looking for, left hand side. So one of the things the machine struggles with is contrast. So that's why I'm showing you how to do low contrast too. Which is what this becomes once you've started applying lots of ink to it. Okay, just going to go back to my alcohol marker. So this is the lightest of the three colours.
I'm going to make that a circle.
What?
That one, no, that's because it's missing the outline.
It's already done. Okay, so I'm just following around this bold area on the inside. Might pinch your full shield for this one here. Because it'd be good to show foiling with direct cut.
Okay, it's just there next to it, it's hanging off your glue gun.
Okay, that's probably just about off screen, isn't it? So let me turn that again. Okay. So we have low contrast, no colour, low contrast with colour, high contrast without colour, and high contrast with colour. Now I'll move those out of the way. Thank you. One cutting mat. So whenever we're doing direct cutting, although it's scanning, you use your cutting mat and not your scan mat.
Actually, that's super tacky, so.
Okay. So the one thing you want to consider when you are doing direct cutting is how close what your cut line is to the edge. So always keep it well in from your open edge, because if you put it right on this edge here, it won't see it. So that's one of the really common mistakes with using direct cut. So you want to the angle camera in. Okay, now hopefully today it'll behave. Nope. We were having issues with it yesterday, weren't we? I'm still having issues now. We had stopped it, hadn't we, yesterday?
Yeah, you cleaned it yesterday and it was fine.
Yeah. Come on, Mr. Machine.
Try it a little bit away, so when you try it back a little bit. Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Okay. Cleany roller time.
Use a clean DX.
Yeah, that's one of the joys of the DX, is that it is easy to clean. Hang on, sweet. Let me grab a wipe. You do that bit, I'll do this bit. So one of the other issues can be on your mat. If you rub your finger across and you can feel like a serrated bit, just give it a little light flow. Very cheap now as well. And try again. See that? That's how you do it.
Morning, Sarah Lou. Just doing some maintenance to the DX.
So if you didn't see what Ian just did there, he unlocked the roller bar so that it lifts up and then he can get underneath it as well as all the way around. Hi Beatrice. So we've done some stamping. So we have our squid ink here and we've got a little bit missing there. We've got our alcohol proof ink on this side. So we're going to go to scan. Direct cut because we want to cut it directly out of this card. I'm going to use the machine. I'm going to change it to black and white, braver still, and go start. It's going to tell you to do the scanner lever. Thank you.
If you ever see them, you don't have to worry about the scanner lever because it's enough.
Okay, so I'm going to go.
We have
Okay,
non-DT Tracy in as well.
cool.
Said evening.
So we have both outlines done and nothing on the inside. So before you cut your outlines, I'm going to shrink it up and shrink it in that way. And if it's good, when we go to preview, it should pick it up. It's not quite doing it. So obviously in here we need to make it a little bit darker. So if we go to this one, let's try again. We're going to go up to our darkest. It's getting better, it's still not perfect. Let's try and go back one notch and see if that helps.
Yes, it would, Carol. Yeah. The Apertures to the CM doesn't have a lever to lift the rollers as well.
Yeah.
Make it a lot easier to clean.
Okay, so at the moment it's still struggling a little bit just with that little section in there. So what I wouldn't suggest at this point is that you go, well, about your nose the outside, so cut that, because as soon as you cut it from around that edge, you're going to struggle to kind of keep it in place when it does the cut through the centre. So I'm going to go back at that. And let's try and do it colour. Okay, so again I'm going to frame that image. And we'll try it from the outside first and see how it goes. Okay, so you can see we've got a really good clear outline, but we're still missing our little centre in the back here, so I'll shrink it in again. Still not great. So if we go to our shading, we can take that down to 2 and preview. Better. So if I go OK and OK, I'm going to go to Edit, and we can start to bin all the pieces that we don't want. So sometimes the easier way of doing this is to use a window to do our selection. Others you can just kind of go around where it's too close and just delete them out. Do that again at the top. So window, take it up, bring it in, OK. Okay. So you want to get to the point where these are greyed out and you've just got your little centre section in here. So we'll go OK. Now it's being very picky about what is going around down here, so we'll see how that comes out. OK. Which do you think? Shall we go for standard or vinyl?
You choose.
I'll go for the standard for this one. Okay. So we can go OK, go back home. What do you think? No, I'll just test that first. Good job I did. Oh. It has, it's just,
It's about stuck.
yeah. Okay, should be alright. Stick it back down well. So go OK. Scan, direct cut, machine, and I'm going to go around the outside. That did it quite well in black and white, so I'm going to go back to black and white. Somebody wasn't paying attention.
I'm trying to see what you're missing.
It wasn't important, was it? Right. Gonna go OK. Preview. Now this time I'm going to swap blade because there's lots of little twiddly bits. So I'm going to go to the vinyl blade.
Take your cap off.
Yep, take the cap off, always important that. Go OK. OK again.
Get to the point where it's damaged anything else.
Well, it's definitely going to damage the card print. Is there any questions while we're waiting? There we go. So this may need to go around twice, just because. Yeah.
Have to get with you. Pretty pressure for this.
I might do with that one actually. Just a touch. It's on -5 of a half cut, so I'll put it to -5. That one and try again.
You shouldn't need twice. It's so quiet. Yes, it is, isn't it? And it cuts.
Every time it really makes any noise is if you're doing perforations, because it makes more noise in that up-down movement than it does anything else.
Recut most of it.
Yep, that one's okay. I might just take that off the mat. Before we do our one.
You could take your paper off, couldn't you? Because you're rescanning, right?
Good one.
Because you don't scan that side,
There we go. So it's not done a bad job. if I hold that up there. It's mainly around this inside bit, it's just struggle a little bit because it's...
Gather you like the vinyl blade then? Yes, we do, yeah.
Oh yes. Best investment for the DX. I think I prefer it over the ScanNCut link, and that's saying something, isn't it, sweet?
Mm.
Okay. And a bit there. There we go. There we go. One little frame. So that one it didn't do quite so well in terms of missing bits, so it missed these two here. But, pop that way. Now, one thing I'm going to do before we go through scanning, if I just tilt that slightly, is I'm going to use an artist sketching pen. So this is by Kuretake. I'm just going to go back in and just strengthen those bits that I think it needs to be able to see that a little bit better. So if you have a stamp where it has little gaps in the line, you can use this to fill in. And check around the outside too. It looks like it should be a nice solid shape. So let's give it a go.
You want to just put it back a little bit further?
Yep, going to like so.
That's it.
Okay, so scan, direct cut, use the machine, and I'll do it black and white again.
That just means you have to eat the cake then.
I was going to say, that's one of those where I tilt my head back and go, ah. Okay. So I'm going to move my window in anyway because you don't want it to pick up these bits. And I'm going to move it in just a tad so that it starts to see this aperture rather than the outside frame. And I'm going to go to preview. Okay, it hasn't quite seen that, so let's try going darker again. Okay. I'm not quite seeing it today. I'll go back and do it colour because obviously the light's not bright today, and it is very sensitive to ambient light when you're scanning.
Oh no, Carol.
What? Perhaps he's gone hunting, gone to find the other kitty cat. Okay, so bring that in again. corners need to come in a little bit more. So go back, bring your frame in a bit more, and a bit more this way. There you go, and good off now yet.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so at the moment it's picking up the oval that comes around. Bring that down just a touch so you can see it's coming in around here rather than seeing this bit inside here, which is what we wanted to see. So at this point you have two options. You could go, right, okay, I'm going to bring it in a bit more and pick up this bit. But as we've already done that with the other one, just here, I'm thinking, let's let it do that. So it's going to come round here and here, and back round this oval here. It's got a few extra bits and pieces, so if I bring that there, shall I see if I can zoom
That's
in?
it.
There we go. So you can see it's got these little bits around the outside that we definitely don't want. So if we go to ignore object size,
Zoom out a little bit on that, could you?
Yeah.
There you go. That's
There
better.
we go. Let me see if I can angle that better. There we go. We can pop these up. So what that's saying is anything that's equal to or smaller than that size will get ignored. So once they've all gone this lighter shade of grey, and while what you want to cut is still black, you're going to stop. So if I just zoom that in there, you can just about see that these outside bits here have gone a paler shade.
You're off screen, Sweetie.
Oh, hang on. There we go. Let's try and get that in. So, outside have gone paler shade here, and then you've got the darker line, which is where it's going to go. So I'm going to go OK. OK. I'll zoom back out.
That's better. Sorry, you can left it there. That's fine.
Okay. So, at this point, I can go and change my mind and say I'm going to go to draw this time. So, can you pass me a metallic Sharpie? I know there's one kicking around.
Should be in your.
No, can't see it. I know I've seen one somewhere.
Oh, that's all.
Oh, that's all. Okay. So, because our Sharpies have a wider nib width, we can actually use them to create a border when we're cutting. Good morning, Rachel. So next week we should be back at our normal 11 o'clock slot. You can't find it? I've seen it somewhere. Probably staring right at us. Laughing. I do. So let's pop the Sharpie in. So with the Sharpie holder, you just literally drop it in the top, and then you have a screw-on cap with a little bit of a spring motion in it. You just do that up so that it's done up tightly. Okay. is where I hope it pays. I'm just going to slightly change my draw speed setting, so because it's an alcohol based marker we can go up a bit quicker so that it's not bleeding as much. So I'm going to take it to 5.
Good morning, Ruth, in Pennsylvania.
Draw pressure -5, about right, so I'll go OK at that. And we'll go start. It's going to say attach appropriate holder because we're using the Sharpie pen holder. Just go OK and start. And there we go. So it's just a little border. Cap back on.
Carol's just waiting for frames to come.
Oh,
The lights have turned up.
the lights are on, but the frames aren't home yet. Okay, now because that's a nice, simple, basic shape, I'm just going to go to my standard blade. Now remember, we changed the pressure, so I'm going to go OK, cut. Just going to change that pressure back to -9. I'd rather not cut no wool than that.
I think you're going to be busy this weekend then, Carol.
Do you want to just go over what's going to be going up later today? He's hard work at the moment, aren't you, dear?
Of course. Yeah. Where's my list?
Okay. So I'm just going to pop that out there for a minute, because when we do our next one it's going to be intricate. So I'm going to go OK. Go back. Change my frame with my image. Okay. Oh dear, somebody's going to be in trouble because they've not done their homework yet. Right, swap to vinyl blade, go OK, OK again, going to go to cut, change pressure back, so it's going to go to -5, OK.
So, whilst that's cutting that out, I was waiting for Nat to finish. So, in January we're going to be doing some more courses, and we're doing a selection of 8 courses in total. So we are starting on the 9th of January, and we're going to be doing the intros to the ScanNCut, and we're going to be doing the CM on the 9th and DX on the 10th. We're then going to do some Canvas introductions, so we're going to do Canvas Online on the 16th, the following weekend, and Canvas app on the 17th, so the desktop version. We're then going to do the following week, we're going to do a course on Affinity Design on the 23rd, and Illustrator with the ScanNCut link on the 24th. And then on the last week in January we're also going to be doing one on Inkscape and also CorelDRAW. Now we're going to put these up on Buy Me a Coffee,
Yes.
as being able to purchase the courses and the entrances, and we're going to do them at £10 each, but if you want to do all of the courses we're going to do them for a flat fee of £50 for all of them. So if you want to do them all, they're £50, or we're going to be charging £10 per course if you just want to do one of them or 2 of them. So those will be going up later this afternoon. on Buy Me a Coffee. So if you are interested, we'll also put a link in, once they're up, we'll put a post on the group to link them through if anybody does want to come along and join us for those weekends.
Yeah. We're also going to be putting up some little short ones for December that won't take very long. So there won't be full weekend ones, they'll just be like little half day ones, won't they?
Yeah. There's some already up, isn't there? So
Yeah.
if you go into the extras.
So take that one out. So there's our little central bit. And we can take... Oh, you did stick that mat well, didn't you?
I did.
And there's that outside frame.
No fun if I didn't.
So then you can see where we've done our Sharpie line. It actually goes... Cameraman's a little bit lax today, isn't he? So our Sharpie line actually goes both sides of our cut line, so you can see there's a little bit on both sections. So next one. I'm going to go for this one.
Yes, they will be beginners courses, so there will be back to basics because they're introductions to each of the products, so they'll be back to basic courses, so we'll be going through everything from
Getting it out of the
your
box.
basic shapes, getting out of the box and
setting
all
it
the other
up
bits.
to canvas.
Yeah, so it will all be back to the beginners, back to starting from scratch. Did you want foil shield?
Yeah, go on then. So let me take the tape off it because I don't need that. Yep,
So the
right way.
guide that Natalie is just attaching is our foil shield. And we're currently getting this redeveloped, aren't we, for
Yeah.
an improved state.
Okay.
So it'll be a new and improved product. But this is one of my own designs. The new one will also be
For you.
all me. So if it goes wrong, it's my fault.
Yeah.
She puts it.
Okay. So I'm just going to pop myself a little bit of tape as a reference. Just in there. So I can see where the edge of my card is. I'm going to go okay home because we don't need any of that anymore. I'm going to go back to direct cut. I'm going to use colour because it's low contrast. Can change my scanner lever.
Does that change it back for you, Rory?
Yeah. That's the only thing with the scanner lever, because when you're drawing it needs to be in the up position, that it needs to come down when you're scanning card. But it does give you the option of scanning thicker things then. Okay, so I'm going to shrink this one up and I'm going to focus mainly on this little central section to start with.
Change camera again.
Come on, cameraman.
That's not as easy as it usually is it? Because you have to keep moving the camera.
Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to go okay. Yay! That's good news, Beatrice. Okay, so we can see that we've got part of what I wanted it to get, because we've got this big outline space here. We've also got lots of lip bits. So first of all, let's use our ignore object size to get rid of most of them. So we can go up to that point. Now if we go here, we can see that we've got this tail end section here, and that's actually joining onto our frame. So what that means is we need to actually do a little bit of work with our contrast as well. So first I'm going to take it down to 2 and see if that makes it better or worse. I feel like an optician. Is that better or worse? Ooh, and that's so not what I wanted to do. So let's go up 1. A little bit better. It may be one of those rare ones where black and white actually does better, you know. Shock. Ah, there we go. So that's more or less what we want. So it's going to go round, in here, up there, round there, round this corner bit, up here, round there. So I'm going to go OK. OK again. Oh! Now I'm going to grab my foil. I got the battery pack. Thank you. So we're using our foil, the first thing we're going to do is start it preheating. So I'm going to go for the bold one.
I'll get that one preheat.
So that we use the same sort of technique as what we did with the Sharpie pen. They managed to get themselves in the right knot. There we go. So next, because I want to go for a bit more of a vintage look, it's a good excuse to use up some of the older foil that we have. So it misses and skips a few places. I'm just going to line that up. Sort of, let's go there-ish. So it should catch most of it. There's going to be a few bits that misses, but let's go for the stickier tape, but I will detack it a little, just so it doesn't damage my card. So when we're applying tape, we want to make sure that we get some tension in our foil. It's just going to help your quill just glide rather than snagging. Okay. Pop out the blade, put the cap on. We're going to go to OK. And draw. I'm going to slow my speed down to 1 because we're using the foil quill. And it's better that you go slower when you're using your quill so it has time to keep that heat in the nib. So I'm going to go OK. And off we pop. Should be long enough now, shouldn't it? And because I'm using Cole's adapter, it's just going to throw.
Tracy Christie's asked, what is the frame for around the mat?
Okay, so if you haven't seen our foil shield before, it's there so that we can foil with a 12-inch piece of foil and it doesn't go on a mat. So if we're working with something smaller, we can actually fill in these sections so we have little strips like so that we can pop in and it protects your mat. So Ian's working on a permanent version of it here at the moment.
Yeah.
I might just get it to go around again, because that bit there doesn't look like it's quite.
Put your pressure up then.
Yeah. I'm going to go to -3. So if you want to add foiling to a pattern paper, you can use that same technique. If you want to use it for the sentiment that you've stamped, you can do that the same way too. Okay, let's just have a look at that one side because it still doesn't look right.
An optical illusion.
It could be an optical illusion. Yep, it is. Totally an optical illusion, Natalie.
It's the foil you can see from underneath, but it's
There you go.
obviously cool.
Yeah. Certainly we have. It's only vintage of that foil frame. This is cool. I can go OK. Let's go back one. So if we use our offset button, we can then go inside. So if we go to the negative, that's going to go to the inside. Let's go back there. Because if we go too far, it just vanishes. Let's go there. Okay. Yeah. It's just easier with a vinyl blade to do corners that look neat. So I'm just going to go OK. Go to cut. Pressure still -5, speed 1, and off the top. What is it doing? Okay, so I'm just going to check that that's cut successfully, which it has. Okay, now I need to go around the outside to cut out my topper. So I'm going to go home.
Really?
I'm going to put in a rectangle. Let's go for... Ooh. Let's go for that one that's got a bit of a rounded corner to it. I'm going to pop that on my mat, and then I'm going to use this button here to do a background scan. I'm going to drag in my rectangle and I'm going to align it so it's as close to the centre as I can get it of my piece. And the reason we do that is when you resize the shape, it's always going to do it from the centre outwards. So I'm going to go to Object Edit, Resize, which is top left, and then I'm going to press this button here with the two sets of arrows, and that means I can work with height and width independently. So first of all I can sort out my height. And then I'm going to do my width. So you might choose that you're going to finish it on this line here. You can take that out more. And take it out there. Go okay. Okay. Now if we go back to positioning, we can actually zoom in so we can see it a bit better, and we can still nudge our shape. So we're not having to struggle and wonder if we've got it quite right. Now chances are if you put it on your mat it's not going to be exactly square. So if we go okay, okay, and you need to twist it a little, if we go to our rotation, you can rotate it by 1 degree. It's not the most subtle rotation, but most of the time you'll get the job done. Just going to nudge that down one. Yeah, let's go there. Okay, okay, okay. Because it's a basic shape, I can swap back to my standard blade. Going to go to cut. And off you go.
Got some bits there.
Yep, I did. Okay. There we go. So then if you wanted to, with this central panel, you can actually then write a sentiment into that space, or you can just take it off and stamp it. So I'll probably stamp one on that before I put it together. And then we can take our foil shield off, like so. So again, because it's close to this edge and just bring it in. Go okay, and if we go back home, I'm going to go to pattern, going to place just a normal rectangle this time. I'm going to do a background scan. So we always need to place something on the mat so that we can do a background scan, especially if you're working with a CM. I'm going to drag that into the centre, and I'm going to go to edit, object edit, and resize. Slightly off, so I'm just going to rotate it slightly.
Okay, Linda, we'll see you later. Shall I go pick up that?
Okay. That's a little bit bigger. We'll just do our zoom and just check. Need to nudge down a little and left a little. Okay. Now if I go to add, pattern, let's go into the shapes and see if we've got something we can use in there. So go into tags, and we've got a few different shapes that we can use. So let's go for, let's go for this one. It's kind of in keeping. So if we go OK, OK, and set. Because we're going to rotate, we're going to bring it into the middle of the mat. Oh, no, don't want to add another. Not really. We can do that one in a minute. There we go. So, object edit, rotate. I want it to go 90 degrees. Now we already know that the outside of our frame is having to rotate that 1 degree. So remember to do the same for your aperture. That means it's going to be on the same square. So that'd be the same if you were putting in text you'd want to rotate it. If you were doing some foiling, make sure you rotate it so it's all straight. I'm going to bring that up to there. Now you'll notice because it's a shape, this button becomes greyed out, and that just means that it has to stay in that proportion. It's a little bit of a pain on occasion, but it's kind of important to note that when you're doing your design. So I'm just going to bring that down. Okay. Okay. Going to go to select and select all. Going to move, align, and middle and middle. Okay. We can then go into object edit and we can group it. And then we can go and just double check again that we're absolutely happy with where that is placed. So I'm just going to nudge it down one. Okay. 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 Lots of okays on this one. It's a bit different when you're on a CM. You don't have to do as many okays to get to the same point. We'll call it a day at that, and then
Should we do a 2 o'clock putting it together?
yes. Okay. So there's our outside frame done. And then our inside done too.
And lovely centre panel.
And a lovely centre panel. So what we will do now is we'll take a break. And then we'll come back at 2. Oh, excuse me. And I might just show you some little bits and pieces that we can do to finish those off. It won't be a very long one at 2 though, will it?
Probably not. Hopefully not.
Because I've got some other bits to do by the end of today. So, come back then and we'll have some more fun. So take care for now and bye.